It's so much harder to lose weight when you are over the age of 30. And it's so much harder to get just fitness results in general, because over the age of 30, and that's like a rough number, don't take that as like 30 and then everything goes bad, but a bunch of processes in your body that are involved in maturing and developing your physiology reach their completeness. And at that point, from a physiological point of view, you've pretty much matured, and your body's not expecting you to need any kind of further development or growth. And it's difficult to tell people who are younger, but there's still quite a lot of growing to do, even once you're still moving through your 20s. But once you get into your 30s and you reach that point where your body's not really going to change in a developmental or a growth kind of way, your hormones slightly shift. And what this means is you're unlikely to be growing and repairing parts of your body unless there's a specific stimulus that comes from outside the body to push it in that direction. And what happens instead is the things that are in your body that aren't getting used begin to decay and fall off. And the main one that we see falling off is muscle. From your early 30s, early mid 30s, if you are not using your muscle, you are going to lose that muscle over time. Bit by bit, over the course of decades. But if you're only 30, you're expecting to live a few more decades. And if you don't learn how to put your muscle to use in a regular, consistent way that tells your body, I need this muscle, don't get rid of it, I'm keeping this muscle because I want to use it, your body's going to naturally think, I'm not in a process of growth, I'm not in a process of development, I'm not in the point of my life where I'm building things up in preparation for the rest of my life. I'm at a point now where I'm only going to keep around what needs to be kept around, because my focus now is staying alive, because I've done all of the building that I need to create an adult human being that's going to go out there in the world and survive and look after everybody else. This natural process of muscle breakdown is called sarcopenia. It's usually only spoken about once you become very old, but the process starts when you're in your 30s, and we see that decline in growth hormone, testosterone, all of those signaling hormones that tell your body grow, drive, develop, increase muscle mass, and become more mature and grow into your adult form. The same thing is true for weight loss, because your body is now shifting into a kind of preservation mode and not in a growth mode. Energy that might have before been rooted towards growing and developing just naturally as a part of the growth process. If there's nothing forcing you to grow and develop and mature even further, your body will prefer to preserve that energy in the form of fat. And beyond just those physiological factors, most people reach 30 and get really busy. Often when you're younger, you might be more likely to go out, play football, spend time in the park in the summertime, enjoy time with your mates, walk around town, be up and about. And then people have kids, they get more senior positions in their jobs, they take on responsibilities in order to put their years of experience to use. But that means there's less time to use that muscle, and there's often more stress. And on top of that stress, we might deal with the stress by drinking more, eating more yummy food, sitting at home on the sofa instead of playing football on a weekend. And when you add together these lifestyle factors to the physiological factors, you start to find that when you could have probably pushed yourself a little bit when you were younger and got some fitness results, now you have to push a lot harder and you have to be a lot more deliberate with the way that you're approaching diet and exercise in order to get a result, because your body's not already growing and developing and maturing you into an adult. So you haven't got that tailwind for your recovery when it comes to the stress you put on your body through diet and exercise and other fitness and lifestyle interventions. So what's the solution? The first thing is to start as early as possible and start when you don't need it. If you can start when you're in your 20s, when you've got that tailwind behind you, building muscle, creating habits, learning how to eat healthy even when you can get away with not eating that healthy, that's the best place to start. But if you're coming to this late, the first thing that you've got to understand is that you just can't get away with things the way you used to because your body's not trying to develop you and move you into being a mature adult. You're already a mature adult. And so what that means is your body's only going to respond to the stuff that you put it through. And it's only going to grow in relation to the environment that you put it in. So you then need to be deliberate about what you put your body through so that it responds in the way that you want it to move. And the main thing that you need to be putting your body through is some kind of resistance that causes the muscles to respond in a way that means that they either grow or maintain. Because if you don't use your muscles from about the age of 30, they're just going to slowly shrink. And then in another 30 years, you'll be struggling to get out of a chair, you'll fall over and you won't be able to get up again, you'll break a bone and you won't be able to recover. The strength of your muscles, once you get to the later stage of adulthood, is a hugely important determining factor in the quality of your life and your ability to remain healthy and avoid all the things that can cause you health problems as you get older. So do some form of exercise, preferably a form of exercise that's not too much stress on the joints, but still uses your muscles in a methodical way. For me, resistance training, lifting weights, bodyweight exercises and using resistance machines, that's the gold standard for maintaining what you need as a mature adult to stay healthy. The second thing is try to maintain an active lifestyle. And what that means is not becoming lazy as you get older and making sure that you're regularly on your feet, moving about, doing active things as part of your day-to-day. Being willing to get up, take the stairs, go for walks, and being generally an up and about kind of person. It helps tremendously if your job involves being on your feet all day, or at least getting up from your desk every now and then. But you don't want to be one of those people that sits at a desk all day, sits in a car, and then sits in front of the TV. And then when it comes to the weekend, they sit in front of a computer game, and then you realize you spent your entire life sat down. Have a hobby that gets you out the house, do stuff with yourself, have a social life, and be active throughout the day. And finally, be in control of your diet. Don't be eating just whatever feels yummy to you right now. Know that you can't just get away with eating whatever you want, given that we live in a world where anything you want is pretty much available to you at the click of a button. Eat in a way that's mindful of the nutrition that you need and the minimum amounts of vitamins, minerals, proteins, carbs and fats that is a requirement for your body to run well. But remember, the answer to every question is to stop asking questions until you start doing things in the real world. So don't let the fact that it's harder to do as you get older stop you from doing it at all. Because yes, your body will not respond like it did when it was already in the process of growing and developing. You're a mature adult now, and we can expect that you're not going to get this tailwind of growth pushing you forward. So you have to push things forwards on your own. And once you start that ball rolling, and once you've got things going, it becomes much easier to stay on track and to do the things that push your body to continue developing, continue growing, continue maturing, even once you have reached what would normally be the culmination of your development. Don't be a person that stops growing and maturing just because they reach 30. You're not done. And if you have any other questions about how to continue developing yourself beyond your body's natural stopping point, please send them my way and I'll answer them in a post like this. See ya.